So the simulation route uh, would be like running a. Have you guys heard of the program Active Presenter? So it's a free program, but I use it a lot. But it records your screen, and that's where I would say, okay, you run through a simulation like the optimization, um, like how that's running through it, and just record that on your screen. Now, optimization will take a long time, so it's either you would probably have to speed it up afterwards, use some post editing software to just ramp it up and make it every other slide or something, every other second. Or you can do what I showed with Ladybug with that fly command, where it goes through all your sliders and it shows your model adjusting. You can record your screen and just have it run through all that. But and so that's what I would mean by, present your simulation. So you can have so yeah, that'd be more of the animation I'd be looking for.
Could we, if our panels were changing with like the sun path, and could we record a simulation of the sun path over a day, and where you see the panels change?
Yeah.
Cool.
Absolutely. Yeah, that would totally work. What else? So, and Nora, I knew you had a few questions as well.
Yeah, I had, should I just share my screen or?
Yeah.
So I was just struggling a bit because I wasn't sure. So I've changed mine like every week, and I wasn't sure if this type of design was the way to go, because I started working with Weaverbird, because I know you mentioned it had a lot of cool features. So I spent a couple hours trying to work with it and see what it had to offer. And I was able to develop this kind of kaleidoscope feature that I was looking for, because I wanted to work more with the openings. So I was curious, was that the wrong way to go? Like, should I not have used Weaverbird as much?
I guess it all depends on what you want it to do. And I mean, it's fine that you're using Weaverbird so much. I guess, is it producing the output that you want it to produce?
I think so, yeah, because it's kind of giving off that kaleidoscope feature that I wanted and having those type of triangular openings.
Okay. So one thing that if it's producing the output that you're looking for, now you just have to make sure it goes with the design, and you still, when we have these razor point connections, that you have something that you can show that there's going to be a connection there, or just how are those two things going to meet up? That's one thing. And you can do that with Weaverbird. There is a component that allows you to grab those points at each one of those intersections, and you can place like a sphere or some kind of connection that goes with your concept. But yeah, if that's outputting what you want and you have control over it, and the program's not controlling you, then that's great. That's where you want to be.
Okay. And another one of my questions was, so my design module folder, it stopped providing it keeps giving me the variations of the tower instead. Can you see my screen?
Yeah, I see it.
And I don't know how to change that, but I have like 200 of them now, or like anytime I move it or something, I just get a bunch of them instead of the individual ones.
So you're trying to save all the images, and it's replacing them all with new ones, or what are you trying to do? Sorry.
Instead of the original module, I'm getting now images of the whole tower. So instead of just like it individually to show the different variations of it that we had done in the beginning, they
Oh,
replaced it with all of these tower images.
yes, because it goes based off your whatever view that you saved. So right now, if you're referencing the module, like right now I see your view is called module.
Mhm.
You know, if that module view is showing your tower, then it's going to show everything that's in that view. So that's why. So if you want to see all these different iterations of your module, you're going to have to set up a view for that module and then reference that view into Grasshopper.
Okay.
And then it should work. And make sure you change a file path, or at least you change the name of the file, because it's going to save that same file where you specify it, and it's going to name it whatever you specified. So even though you may change the view and the file name and the location is the same, it's going to save over all your stuff.
Okay. Okay, that makes sense. Because I was wondering why I kept getting such new ones each time.
Yeah. Yep. It's I like someone told me it was the computer's stupid. It's amazing tool, but it's the dumbest tool. So you have to tell it every little. You have to tell it every little detail, or it just won't do it.
And then with how we arranged the skin, I just recreated the curve idea that we were doing in the beginning to each side. Was that okay, or were we supposed to do a different kind of method for that, for how to wrap it around the tower?
No, if that method works for you, then that's fine.
Okay.
I won't dictate too many your methods, as if you're doing something wrong, it will do something wrong. And the few things that I've showed are just, you can use them, or you can figure out on your own a different way. Cool.
And I think my last question was just if the renderings, if I can share it, if these were the kind of renderings you were looking for. Is it showing up?
No, it's not. Sometimes if you specify to, oh, there we go.
Was it these kind of renderings, or should they have been done in Rhino? Because I did these in Illustrator, so I wasn't sure.
Yeah, I was thinking doing them in Rhino. So there is there are some you get some shadows, a little bit of ambient inclusion into it. Maybe you get the sky, but is there some sun? The people look out of scale. Those are some pretty huge people. So it's stuff like that. It's like adding some entourage to it. That kind of deal.
Okay.
And it can be really, it can be something that's pretty abstract. I'm not looking for like a super, this isn't a visual communication class, so it shouldn't be like hyper realistic. I'm not, if you can do that, that's great, but that's not the class we do it. It's just more of understanding the materiality of it, the how it fits within the scale of it, how it fits within the context. And that's kind of the big thing, is just showing, like, with the renderings, we can just show the materiality. And that was the thought behind that.
How do we get our materiality in Rhino? You'd have to Photoshop that, though.
You can Photoshop it. There is a you can assign materials per layer. And then so you can create your own material. It's it's very similar to like SketchUp, where you can adjust some, except that it can actually render. So you can adjust like the glossiness, the shine, the bump, and then you can have it render out. So,
I have a Rhino question or two. If
yeah. Yeah, what's up?
let's see. Okay, can you see that?
Yeah.
Okay, so I was pleased to be able to get, you know, some dynamic response of the panels, and that's based on, you know, the distance from the panel to the sun. A couple questions I have though, and I know this is probably a simple Rhino question, but I haven't been able to hack it yet, is when I go to try to take an elevation of this and make 2D, I get this. And so I don't know in my script, you know, if I'm, yeah, I guess I'm not certain what I'm not doing.
So,
I need to, so this is that one panel side right here. Do I need to select all that and assign it to a geometry and bake the geometry, or?
yes, that's it. That's exactly what you do.
Okay.
And then how did you connect your model to the ladybug? Did you use it from a point?
Yeah, so I use the sun position.
Yeah. And
And then, let's see. So for instance, when I adjust the hour, so right now it's at 7. Let's just put in another hour.
So yeah, that's it. That's it. And the sun position, that's a vector, correct?
I believe so.
Yeah, if you hover over that, the sun's position. Yeah, so it's a vector. No, location. So yeah, because yeah, that looks like a point. So yeah, exactly. Like how we, a lot of the times in the previous classes where I'd say let's create a relationship between how the modules grow. I used a lot of like a point as an example. Like you can use Ladybug outputs a point. It can locate. It can output a vector, and you can just, instead of that one point, you can actually use that Ladybug output, and that creates that relationship.
So if I select my whole model here that I'm working with, I go in, I set multiple geometries.
No, so for this one, you have, everything's in Grasshopper, right?
Yep.
So you would connect all those surfaces that are growing and getting bigger, all your design modules into that.
Oh, okay.
Yep. You connect it all, and then you bake that one parameter, and then you're all set. It's in Rhino.
Okay. And then, okay, so I'll try that. The other question I had is when I have this sun path component in Ladybug, the compass settings are way off whack, and I've had no luck with trying to make those numbers smaller or eliminate those. And
I figured that out. I had that question earlier.
Sure.
I think it goes into the legends parameters component, and you can change the font. You have to pull up another component called legends parameter, and it will feed into that one. And then you can change the font size on that.
Oh,
You can put in a slider, and I think I got like 5. 5 or 7 was a good number.
Okay,
Like, don't do 12, because originally I did 12 thinking it was like standard font size,
right.
and it was, I think it was huge.
Okay, that's great. I'll try that.
Yeah. Cool.
Okay, great. Thanks so much.
Yeah, no problem.
I have a quick question. Probably I can share my screen if.
Mhm.
I am trying to connect the radiation data with the center of my subsurfaces. So basically, I want to be able to read the value of that data that's been recorded and be able to call out like the ranges. So I can call out and assign a pattern to it.
So you want to pull it out. So if it meets between these two values, say true or false, correct?
So, yeah, I mean, I guess I would have to do that. So let's say I want to assign a certain panel with a radiation between 355 and 443. So I would basically say if it is in that range, it's true. If not, false. And then if I want to do other ranges, I would have to set up the same call. Okay. So yeah, I guess, but my question is how do I get the data? How do I get that surface to pick up that data? So you see my subsurfaces on, this is my subsurfaces that I, split up the surface. And
Yeah.
I called in the area, there's the center, that point is the center of the surface.
Mhm.
But the information is basically has a whole set of other points. It's got, all these points, basically.
So you want to just select those points based off the data, correct?
Or
Like
somehow, yeah, go ahead.
Are you putting your module there or? Okay.
Yeah, so the module's going on the subsurface, but I
Okay.
want to be able to call out certain values from the radiation data. Make
So
sense?
yeah, I think I know. So
So I wanted to read the gradient, basically.
Right. So I would, if you take actually that example in the book, that the algorithms is something I'd probably be doing something similar to that. You could take your list.
Yep.
And you would
So the
take
data list.
the data list,
Uh-huh.
and you would say you'll start off with maybe it's a larger than component.
Mm-hmm.
And then you would have a number that you want to test it with. So you want to make sure you get all the 420s out of the way. Anything that's larger than the 420. So you'll have your data go into the A component and the larger than, and then you'll have 420 on the B component, and that will give you a true false.
Okay.
Then you would get your dispatch component.
So let's say it's like 4. Okay, so I put my list into the
Yeah,
A
put in
component.
into the larger than. Let me here we go. Yeah, there you go, just like that. And then yes. Is the second number connected?
Yeah.
Okay. So then you would have if it's larger than or equal to, that one of those components will go into the P for your dispatch, right? Because the output of the larger than is either true false statement.
And I have to go my list.
And then I wouldn't put in that because that's You want your subsurface to be that, to go
Oh,
in.
right. Okay, so, but I do my areas,
Nope, did the actual
just the
S.
subsurface.
Yep, the subsurface. Now it's going to give you the output of A or B, and A, and that's how. So grab a surface component.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
And so it might be the ones that meet that criteria, and B are the ones that don't meet the criteria. So let's hover over that one. Hover over the A. Okay, so none of them met that criteria right now.
Okay, so wait, hang on. I have a slider. So if I, okay, wait. Okay, so yeah,
So that's-
296. There's definitely some under 296.
All right, so let's test it there.
Looks like it's covering everything though.
Hang on, hover over B. 3000, hover over A. 606.
All right, so it is separating it.
Yeah. So just
Okay.
and yeah, and that's how I would go about it.
Okay. And then, okay, I'll play around with that more.
Okay.
Great, thanks.
Yeah, no problem. Hey Troy, do you oh she left. So Megan, you have a few questions?
Yeah, I got some quick questions. Let me pull this guy up here for you. Screen share. Okay. Is it popping up?
Yes. Yep.
Okay. So I got it to alternate as
Nice.
you helped me out last week. And I don't quite know how to word this question, but I essentially need it. Let me see if I can get a good angle here for you. I need these pieces to line up underneath each other, so it makes this, like it makes a diamond. If you
Mhm.
remember back from my rough drawings way back when. So I kind of need to stagnate every other row.
Mhm.
Not quite sure the best way to go about that.
So I remember how you wrote your script was you split yeah, there you go. Yeah, so you called everything out, and then you had your surface, you evaluate surface, and then you had you orientated it. So what you could do is the geometry that you orientated, the geometry, is that in Rhino?
Yeah.
Okay, so what I would do is I would take that geometry that you have in Rhino,
Yeah.
copy it, so there's two different versions of it, and mirror it or rotate it, do what you need to do to match with it.
Match with it.
Yeah, so if you need it to, let's go to your Rhino really quick.
To this one or the
Yeah, go to where the geometry that you're referencing in Rhino.
Okay.
You're in the
In the file, I see what you're saying.
yeah.
So there's two
Okay.
of them here.
So so both of them are being referenced?
Yeah, so I have one here and one there. So I've mirrored it already.
But then you want the other one, but you want one to rotate, right? You want the one that's mirrored.
I
rotate
don't
if
know,
needed?
not so much as like rotate or mirror or any in that capacity. It's more like each row needs to shift over one panel, if that makes sense. So like, let me try to pull up something
Also,
else. Sorry, go ahead.
also go back to that. So I see a lot of overlap on your
On the panel.
surface.
Yeah.
So I would reference that oh that book that I referenced, generative algorithms.
Page 113.
Yeah, that will solve that issue for you,
I know. I grappled with that thing for like 6 hours.
because right now you're orientating it, and it will. So you're orientating it based off that point, right?
Yeah.
But your modules aren't changing along that surface.
Right.
So what that would do is, what I
Okay.
recommend, it will take your module and it'll put a box around it, which we call the bounding box.
Right.
And then that bounding box will twist and it'll deform and it will change your module to fit on your surface.
Okay. I'll play with that.
It's like one of the last steps. Yeah, it's a good one.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah. Okay.
But
I'll just keep playing with it.
yeah, if you need another, you can always subdivide your surface even further. We did a true false, false true. We could
Yeah.
always, break it
I
up
was
into,
kind of wondering if that would be
we
how
can
I
always
should
do
do it.
that.
Okay. All right. I guess that's all I have for now then.
Okay, cool.
All right. Cool. Thanks, John.
Yeah, no problem. Hold on, just. Okay, sorry about that. Hey, Troy, you said you had a few questions?
I do, but I have nothing that I can show right now because my laptop is not working.
Uh-oh, okay.
Nothing is happening. I think it's updating. Let's see if I can get something to happen here. But yeah, my laptop kicked me off, so I'm signed in on my work computer right now, which I have nothing on. Biggest issue that I've been having is when I put the muscle fibers in, it's keeping them flat and all along the same plane because of where the ends are hitting and the beginning starts. For the next one, it just combines that. So it's done everything in like the zigzag pattern where it's all flat, and the tube comes up at an angle across.
Well, just a second, Troy. I'm sorry. Hold on.
Yep.
Sorry, my daughter just woke up from her nap, so.
Okay. So yeah, unfortunately nothing's happening on my laptop right now. So I'm having not only tech issues, but other Rhino issues. So I may just have to email stuff over.
Okay. All right. I'll try my best to answer the best I can and help out the best I can with that. Well, okay. Okay. But okay. Yeah. Well, I'll try my best. Does anyone else have any questions or comments? Okay. Well, cool. Yeah. Keep on working hard, guys. Yeah. We'll see if we'll have Eric and Jason stop by, and maybe a few other people. But yeah, keep working hard, and yeah, let me know if you have any questions. All right, great. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you so much.
For emailing over information, if I can ever get my computer to work again, just screenshots, or do you want me to email over files?
Files would probably help. If it's a really simple stuff, like if it's like a question with a component, it's easier for a screenshot. But with if it's more than that, yeah, probably the file will help.
Okay, I will try and get those over later. I think part of the issue is yesterday I was trying the pipe command, and it wasn't working at all, and then it just locked up everything with the file. So I've been trying to delete that command, and it just hasn't been working. I've tried, I can't even think of it. It's heliocoils to see if that would do it, but that did not work. That was a gigantic fail. I've tried extruding, lofting, everything, and I think it really just has to do with that connection of where the end and the start is, that it's reading it wrong. And I've tried reversing things to get it to read differently, and nothing is working properly.
Okay.
So,
yeah, I'll see what I can do. If it's kind of similar to some of the issues you had last time with like the fiber or the actual connections where you're trying to mesh it together and it wasn't joining. Sometimes it's just those two surfaces. Sometimes it works perfectly, other times it doesn't, and you just have to change the way it creates the object. But yeah, if you can send me the files, I'll do what I can, answer your questions, and and you said you're switching back, or are you staying with the muscle fiber, or you're going back to the Voronoi?
I'm not sure at this point, because I can't seem to get the muscle fiber to work properly. Like that column shape isn't working properly. I was messing around with some of the Voronoi stuff to see if I can try and get that to work a little bit better, have more clarity to it. That wasn't working very well either. So I'm kind of at this impasse where I'm like, I have to either figure out what I have, or I have to restart and come up with a whole new everything, which is not what I want to do with a week left, or a day before. So I'm hoping I can get something to work, but right now I'm so frustrated with it because nothing is working properly.
Okay. Yeah, that was when you said that, I was a little concerned just with, it seems like you want to keep with just that concept and fight through it. And I think that the fiber one, I mean, that's just controlled by 2 points. I mean, that's probably the less strenuous of all the ideas. I think it's also strongest with your concept. And I think it can be pretty easily wrapped around your surface. I mean, it's essentially like drawing a line, right? It just that line component, it needs an A point, needs a B point, and that's all it needs. And you have all these different layers, and so you're just assigning, okay, this layer will be an A point, this layer will be a B point, and it should all connect, and it should work from there.
Yeah, and like it all lines up how it looks like it should, but then when it's lofting or extruding, it stays flat. And at first I thought it was because it's the form or the shape of the fiber is too rigid and it's not able to bend, not only in like the like vertical axis, but it's also going in like a horizontal swoop. So it's bending, it's supposed to bend in like different directions, but it doesn't seem to be doing that when it's extruded. So I've even tried like bend commands to get everything to bend and arc around it, but then I get this big crazy array. At one point my model looked like a supernova just exploded. So I don't know where to go with it or what to do with that.
Okay. Well, once your computer works, I see what I can do.
Okay. I think I should have something over to you in probably the next 15 to 30 minutes because it seems like it's finally restarted. So hopefully I'll have something over in about 15 minutes or so.
Okay. Yeah, and I'll try my best to respond as fast as I can, but keep on working on it. So, like I said, I think with that, yeah, I'm just gonna share my screen real quick. We got a few minutes left, so I'm just gonna launch Rhino really quick. Before I do that, I have to connect. Okay, so let's go. Because, I mean, we had each one of those points, it should be pretty straightforward. Get this going. All right, so if we had let's just say draw a couple profiles and topper. And we can always grab our curve, set multiple curves. And this, for example, I mean, this is just like how we subdivided our tower, right? Or how we made our towers, just through a series of profiles. We can always then divide our curve. And we're dividing over, you know, we have our 10, actually, before we even do that, maybe we'll just do a, you know, a call pattern or something, and we'll get a goes false true, and then we can, all right, so that selects, you know, those two. And then we'll switch these around. So now we have, you know, point A, point B. Really, then we can just get our line. Just keep it so we can say point A's. Point B's. There we go. We have our lines, and actually we could, so we have that gap there. I wonder if we could flatten it. No, we don't want to flatten it. If we get that, then we could always make sure, so we have get our list items. Always connect it from there. So we could do, there's probably to 5. So that's 0, there's 1. There's 2. And we can always make that parametric if we always know there's going to be that 1 there. We can always say it to like, you always say like, it's always going to be that 1 addition. 1, so that will save us a step. So that will be 2. But then we do the same thing. We can get our lines. Oh, we gotta subdivide these. Now we'll have our missing gap, but then we can, you know, as that changes, our lines will change as well. Again, there's a lot of different ways you can do this, and probably not the best. This was probably a quick one that we can do, but your module, since it's defined by 2 points now, can change and grow wherever way your tower can grow. And if we really want to start to change the density of this, if it is 25, you know, we can plug that in on all our numbers. And we can start getting it to that. So hopefully that helps with your applying your module to your skin. And you can keep on developing this. So
Okay.
yeah, let me know if yeah, you have any more questions.
Yeah. You know, things are finally opening, but just at a glacial pace. I'll get this file over in just a minute and see if I can try some of what you just showed as well, to see if I can get that to work, and we'll go from there.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay.
All right, talk to you soon.
All right, thank you.
Yep, no problem. Bye.
Okay, bye.